Ladies and gentlemen, if your confidence has been shaken, if your fire has dimmed, I want you to stop what you're doing and listen. You did not come this far in life to fold under pressure. You were not born to be average. Inside you is a power so strong, so potent, that if you only dared to awaken it, it would change everything. And I mean everything. The truth is this: belief is a choice, not a feeling. And the moment you choose to believe in yourself again, not tomorrow, but right now, the tide begins to turn. You become what you think about most. Let that sink in. Not what you hope for, not you casually consider, not what passes through your mind on a lazy afternoon, but what you consistently, relentlessly, repeatedly think about. Your dominant thoughts. The ones that circle your mind when you're alone, when you're quiet, when you're staring at the ceiling at night. They are shaping you, molding your identity, and directing your future. If you constantly think of fear, you will find fear. If you constantly think of limitation, you will live in a cage, though the door is wide open. But if you dwell on possibility, if you fill your mind with purpose, courage, and belief, you will move differently. You will walk differently. You will attract different people, make different choices, and unlock doors you once thought were walls. The mind is the most fertile soil on earth. Whatever seed you plant, whether it's doubt or faith, fear or confidence, it will grow. And it doesn't care what you plant. It will return whatever you feed it multiplied. Most people don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they've allowed their thoughts to drift toward mediocrity. They allow worry, distractions, the opinions of others, and the ghosts of past mistakes to dominate their inner world, and then wonder why their outer world doesn't change. But here's the truth. You can only rise as high as your thoughts allow you to. Change your thinking and you change your life. Start filling your mind with images of success. See yourself winning. Feel yourself already living the life you want. Repeat thoughts of strength, purpose, abundance, and a discipline until they become the soundtrack of your mind. Because what you repeat, you believe. And what you believe, you become. You don't need a miracle. You need a mental shift. The world will always mirror back to you what you project from within. So project greatness, project faith, project certainty. Do this long enough, and the results will no longer be a matter of chance. They will be inevitable. Because you are not your circumstances. You are your thoughts. And when you master them, you master everything. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, not talent, not luck, not resources. Desire. It begins as a whisper, a quiet voice inside that says, "There's more for you." Not everyone listens to that voice. Many ignore it, bury it, silence it with excuses, fear and the noise of the world. But those who do listen, those who honor it, unlock a force within themselves that is more powerful than any obstacle in front of them. Desire is not a casual wish. It is not a fleeting interest. It is not something you feel only when things are easy. True desire is fire. It is a deep, consuming hunger that won't let you sleep until you act on it. It is the fuel that keeps you going when you're tired, when you're doubted, when you failed 10 times in a row. It doesn't care about your background, your setbacks, or what you lack. It only demands that you want something with every fiber of your being. People often ask, how do I stay motivated? The answer is simply, you must burn with desire. When you want something badly enough, you'll find a way. You'll stop waiting for perfect conditions. You'll stop blaming your environment. You'll stop needing approval. Desire makes you resourceful. It sharpens your focus. It gives birth to persistence, and persistence is the bridge between dreams and reality. Look at every great achievement in history, and behind it you'll find a man or woman possessed by a dream, someone who refused to let it go. They weren't always the smartest. They weren't always the strongest, but they had a hunger that refused to be silenced. A why? So big that no amount of pain or resistance could extinguish it. You must be willing to want something so badly that you are prepared to sacrifice for it. Not sacrifice your integrity or values, but your comfort, your excuses, your procrastination. You must be willing to trade what is easy now for what is great later. Desire transforms the ordinary into the unstoppable. It turns I can't into I will. It converts fear into focus. The moment you decide that you want something with all your heart and back that desire with absolute commitment, the universe begins to respond. Opportunities show up, people arrive, energy floods in, not by magic, but because your desire becomes your dominant force, guiding every choice, every step, every breath. So ask yourself right now, what do I really want? Not what sounds good, not what feels safe. What do you truly, deeply want? And what are you willing to give up to get it? Because once your desire becomes unshakable, achievement becomes inevitable. That's where it all begins. Every setback is a setup for a greater comeback. It may not feel like it when you're in the middle of it. When everything seems to be falling apart, when your plans unravel, when the door slams in your face. But the truth is this: hidden within every defeat is the seed of a greater victory. The world may see a failure, but if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, that very failure becomes the foundation of your strength. No one escapes setbacks. They are a universal part of the human experience. You will be tested. You will be knocked down. Things won't always go as planned. People will let you down. Life will blindside you with things you never saw coming. But here's the secret that champions know: setbacks don't define you. Your response to them does. Pain is not the end. It's information. It's a mirror reflecting what needs to be learned, improved, or removed. When you lose something, whether it's a job, an opportunity, a relationship, or even your confidence, it's tempting to believe that you're done. But you're not. You are being forged. Every moment of resistance is building a stronger version of you. The comeback is being written the moment you decide not to give up. The people you admire, the ones who've done the impossible, didn't get there because their path was smooth. They got there because when they hit the wall, when they kept swinging, when they stumbled, they stood back up with bloody knees and a burning heart. They refused to let a low point become a full stop. Your setbacks are not signs that you're off course. They're part of the course. They reveal your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. They humble you so you stay hungry. They break you down so you can rebuild yourself, wiser, tougher, and more focused than ever. And here's the thing: a comeback is only possible because of the setback. Without the fall, there is no rise. Without the loss, there is no redemption. Without the struggle, the victory has no meaning. That's why you must embrace your lowest points, not as curses, but as turning points. So when life knocks you off your feet, and it will, don't curse the ground. Don't stay there in the dirt feeding your doubts. Rise up, even if it's slow, even if it's painful. Rise, not just to return to where you were, but to go further than you've ever been. Because the greatest stories are not written by those who never fail. They are written by those who fall and choose to rise. This setback, it's not your ending, it's your beginning. Faith plus action equals miracles. Faith by itself is powerful. It is the spark, the vision, the deep knowing that something greater is possible. It is belief without evidence, trust without proof. It is standing in the darkness and still saying, the light is coming. But faith alone is not enough. Faith without movement is just a dream floating in the air. It becomes real only when you combine it with action, relentless, courageous, disciplined action. You can believe in your future all day long, but until you act on that belief, nothing changes. The mountain doesn't move. The opportunity doesn't show up. The miracle doesn't arrive. Action is the hand that reaches out and pulls the invisible into reality. When your feet move in the direction of your faith, even trembling, even unsure, that's when things start to happen. Doors open. People appear. Timing aligns, not because of luck, but because you met your belief with boldness. Most people wait. They sit still, hoping, wishing, praying, but never moving. They tell themselves they're waiting for the right time, the right sign, the right feeling. But faith is not passive. It does not wait for perfect conditions. It moves in spite of uncertainty. It dares to begin without having the full picture. It says, I may not see the whole path, but I'll take the next step anyway. When you act with faith, you're telling the universe, or life itself, I am ready. You're proving with your behavior that your belief is not just a hollow thought. You're backing it with energy, with time, with effort. And life responds to that kind of alignment. It rewards those who risk forward. And no, it doesn't mean everything will work immediately. Sometimes you'll act and stumble. You'll believe and still be tested. But that's part of the process. Action sharpens you. It teaches you. It reveals what works and what doesn't. But more importantly, it sends a clear message to your mind and to the world. I refuse to sit still while my dream dies inside me. That's where the miracle is born, not just in believing that you can, but in proving it by doing something about it. So have faith. Let it be strong, unshakable, alive. But don't stop there. Match it with motion. Back it with discipline. Feed it with decisions. Push it with persistence. Because it's not enough to believe you deserve better. You must do something about it. Faith plus action. That is the formula. That is the code. That is how the impossible becomes possible. That is how miracles happen. You already have what it takes. You may not feel like it right now. You may look around and think others are smarter, stronger, more connected, more prepared. But the truth, the deep, unshakable truth, is this: everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the courage, the creativity, the resilience, it's there. It may be buried under doubt, fear, pain, or years of being told you're not enough, but it has never left you. It's waiting. The world will try to convince you that you need something more before you can start. More time, more degrees, more experience, more approval. But that's the great lie, the lie that keeps people stuck. You don't need to become someone else. You need to remember who you are. Strip away the layers of self-doubt and hesitation, and what you'll find is someone who is already equipped to rise. Not someday. Now. You were born with the seed of greatness in you. Not by accident, not by chance. It's yours. But like any seed, it must be nurtured, believed in, acted on. No one else can grow it for you. No one else can unlock it. That's your responsibility and your privilege. You may not have the loudest voice. You may not have the cleanest track record. You may have fallen, stumbled, made mistakes that haunt you. But none of that takes away your power. None of it disqualifies you. In fact, every scar you carry is proof that you're still in the fight, that you've endured, that you're still here, still breathing, still trying. That alone makes you powerful beyond measure. You don't need to feel confident to begin. You don't need to see the whole way forward. You simply need to act, even with trembling hands, knowing that growth comes through movement. Action awakens potential. Commitment awakens capacity. The moment you start believing in what's already within you, everything around you begins to shift. No one is coming to save you, but no one needs to, because you were never missing anything. The tools you're searching for, already in your heart. The strength you admire in others, it's in your blood. The clarity, the direction, the drive, it's all there. It's always been there. What you need now is not permission, not perfection. What you need is to stand up and say enough. Enough waiting, enough doubting, enough shrinking. It's time to step forward. Not as someone who's trying to become something, but as someone who's finally choosing to be who they already are. You already have what it takes. Now it's time to use it. Decide today that you're done playing small. Decide today that the world will see the real you, the powerful you, the relentless you, the unshakable, unbreakable, unforgettable you. Because the second you believe in yourself again, the world will too. Thank you.